So, 40 mpg, sounds crazy, right? Well, today with the technology and everything that's come about in today, they figured out how to make cars get 40 miles per gallon. Well, the answer to this is a diesel motor. Diesel motors oftenly are thought about as big, loud, noisy, clanky, dirty machines, like tractors, 18-wheelers, everything else, generators, all kinds of things. Well, they figured out how to make them extremely quiet, very efficient, and very clean. So this is like your VW Bugs, your Passats, things like that. Your smaller type cars. They even making more efficient and quieter diesel trucks, 1 tons, 3/4 tons, and all kinds of stuff. They even have a half-ton pickup with an eco diesel in it. So why would you want a diesel over a gas? Well, that's what I'm going to explain to you today. One of the first things about owning a diesel that's a lot better than having a gas is the horsepower versus torque ratio. Yes, a gas motor has a lot of horsepower, but it doesn't have the pulling power that a diesel has. Diesel has a whole lot of low-end torque, and they're more torquey motors, so they have more grunt from the bottom end. They take off from the line faster. Another thing is fuel economy. One small fact I'd like to share with you is that it takes 1 gallon of diesel produces 147,000 BTUs, or energy, and 1 gallon of gas equals 125 BTUs of energy. So just from the start of the actual amount of fuel, not the motor itself, but the fuel doesn't even make as much power as a motor does. So another thing that causes gasoline motors not to have as much power as a diesel motor is the injection methods. The method that the gas is injected into the airstream of the intake of the motor and pulled into the motor and combusted. This creates less horsepower and it's less efficient than if a direct injection like diesel. Any diesel motor is a direct injection motor. And that's the last slide. Or did it click for me? Did it click? That's okay. It clicked for me. Okay. Another thing about owning diesel that's a lot better is the long-term maintenance. If you plan to keep your vehicle for a longer period of time, they hold up and last longer. They tend to go hundreds of thousands of miles without being rebuilt, and your typical gas motor usually reaches 200,000 miles before it needs a rebuild in most cases. Some diesels, they go up to 300, 400, 500,000 miles before they even need a rebuild. There are some motors out there that have 800, 900,000 miles on them and haven't been rebuilt yet. So, and the reason to this of their durability is that they have a thicker block. They're built stronger from the factory because they're designed to run longer. They're designed to idle longer and hold up to higher compression ratios. Unlike a gas motor that has low compression ratios, like a 9:1 ratio, a diesel motor typically has a 14:1 ratio, which is a whole lot more compression because the diesel fuel has to be compressed to expand and explode. And another thing about a diesel is that they hold their value really well. They last for a long time. You tend to resell them. They tend to resell for not very much less than what you paid for them. So that's why you should own a diesel instead of a gas. Thank you.
What if it's 6-0?
Unless the thing comes out.
What if it's 6-0?